Hey, what's up everybody? Today, I want to share with you some of the tanks I've had in the past and where it all started. Alright, so it starts off with my 37-gallon freshwater aquarium. I was just pretty much browsing YouTube one day and, I was always interested in aquariums. I had them when I was a little kid. And I thought, you know what? Let me go ahead and get an aquarium. So I set it up. Of course, I got the fake plants, and these are my tetras that I got. Next up is a big jump. I went to a 100-gallon aquarium right after that. And I think I bought it from, there was a company named Eclipse Aquatics. I don't even really think they're in business anymore, but this was my upgraded tank, from my tetras to now keeping cichlids. Now, I had more cichlids than what's shown in the video here, but at the time of this video, I was actually moving cichlids from tank to tank because I was actually breeding them. I think at one point I had a total of, I want to say it was either 22 or 23 freshwater tanks, which most of them were fry that I was growing up. And this didn't last long. My cichlid little phase, I think it's probably went, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months. Then I started to find out about the saltwater hobby. And as you can see right here, there's pretty much most of my cichlids bagged up and getting ready to be sold. And so here is my first saltwater aquarium. And if you'll notice here, cycling the rocks there, but my first tank I set up to be a frag tank. I was in it for the money and not for the hobby. But that quickly changed. So after some of my frags died, I went ahead and set it up as a normal style tank, and I even grew some SPS. So this is one of my favorite SPS. It's called the Candlelight Acropora. Alrighty, so next up, I moved on to a 40-gallon breeder, and this is my first tank that I had a sump. And as you can see, I had everything stuffed in this sump that I possibly could. And I even made myself my own homemade algae turf scrubber because at the time they were brand new and they were expensive. And I was getting better at SPS. So you can see some Monopora digitatas, and even here's quite a few acros that I accumulated, over the several months that I had this tank. And here's a few shots of some of my clownfish and their anemones. Now, I didn't have both of these clownfish and anemones in the same tank. They were two 40-gallon different tanks. And next up is my all-time favorite tank that I've had so far. Is my 75-gallon rimless tank. It had a couple different variations where one you see here, it's just a lot of soft corals and a lot of frags. Then it eventually went to SPS. And here you can see here how it started out. I mean, it was a lot of work done to it. Went ahead and built an overflow for it, and went ahead and did all the plumbing. I drilled a few holes extra in there so the new plumbing can come out of the bottom, and I sealed up that big bulkhead in the back there. And now you can see I had this sump built for me from a local guy here in Texas. It's a pretty nice sump there. Here we go. So I got that thing fully loaded up. So I spent quite a bit of money on this, gathering parts slowly over time. And there's my professional algae turf scrubber over there on the right hand side there. And here's just a little quick video here of everything kind of in motion. I was using the the Triton method. And as you can see, you had to have a lot of Chaeto in your refugium. There's my little dosing line holders there. And what's funny, this tank was supposed to come with a built-in dosing holder, but he actually forgot to do it. Here's a couple little sculptures that I got from a guy locally. I wanted to grow coral all over them, but that didn't really happen. There's a nice little torch going on there. And so in this tank here, I had a little bit of issues growing Monopora. I've never quite figured out why that was, but for whatever reason, Monoporas just never did good in this tank. And there's some extra little frags there that I've accumulated over time, just on one of my little frag racks there. And here's the start of my little mini Euphilia garden there. Got some pinks, some greens, and just all kinds of different colors there. Yep, there's another pink octoswan. And there you go. There's a Indo and a Aussie Gold Torch. I think back then I paid like 60 bucks or 75 bucks a head for them. Oh, yep, there's the Scolies there. And there's a nice meat coral, an Acanthophilia. I actually fed this thing not a sardine, but I forget what they are. They're like sardines once, and oh man, that was a wild experience there for sure. Nice little acros growing in pretty good there. Just a cheap ASD acro. And here we go, several frags from Frag House Corals, along with a nice rainbow acro. And some of my fish that I had in the tank. And there's some of the supplements that I used to use. So that'll pretty much do it for now, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much.